obviously we're all in lockdown at the moment. How kind of happy, relieved are you that you managed to get a fight in this year before it all happened?
I can't tell you how happy I was. Like, I couldn't believe that I was just on a roll to get going again, and I was looking to come out again in May. And yeah, I was just so grateful to have got that done at the beginning of February. Really happy to have got it done. It's great.
And that was kind of a comeback fight, I guess, after tight defeat out in Malta against a very accomplished fighter, but a very close decision. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I was fighting Patricia Bergolt, defending my IBO world title. I lost it by a point, and it wasn't my best performance. I basically had my first ever knockdown in a fight in the very first round. And of course, it's very hard to come back from that when you've only got 2-minute rounds. But some people had me winning the fight. I felt I knocked her down later on in the fight, but it wasn't counted as a knockdown. So yeah, it was a close fight, but it was by no means my best performance, and I definitely want a rematch there to go and settle that score, to be honest.
You've had a lot of very high level fights in a relatively short career so far. Is that more kind of an advantage than disadvantage, would you say?
Yeah, I think actually it is, to be honest, because every single one of those that I've taken some great experiences from. You know, when I fought Claressa, that was the first time I was on such a massive stage. You know, with Sky Sports, Matchroom, DAZN. There was pre-filming before the fight. I then had to stay focused for the fight itself, and you know, there was a huge big build-up and lead up to that, and that set me in good stead really for being at that sort of level. So yeah, no, all of my fights I found great experience from all of them, to be honest.
How does Claressa compare to some of the other girls you fought, Alicia Napoleon, for example, and Bergolt as well recently?
I think Claressa is a real step above everybody. She's a fantastic fighter. She's just all round great in many respects. You know, she's got fast hands, great footwork, really good upper body movement as well. And I think she's going to do really well in the division for a long time. So yeah, no, I think she's definitely up there, and she will go down as one of the greatest, I think, to be honest.
And have you worked with her since you fought her?
Yeah, so we have the same management team with Mark Taffet over in America, and both promoted by Salita Promotions. Since I fought her, we then have been doing some sparring together. We've trained together, and actually we get on really well. But in the lead up to that fight, we were just complete opposites. I thought there was nothing we had in common, you know. But actually, after the fight, there was a lot of respect between the both of us. It was a great fight, and we've come on to become really good friends. So it's quite a nice turnaround, to be honest.
And working with her since the fight must help you come on as well, because in terms of amateur experience, she far exceeds what you've got.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't have any amateur experience, and she won 2 gold medals. So, you know, I can't even compare to that. But no, it's fantastic to work with her. And, you know, I'm always learning stuff, and it just helps me to exceed what I'm learning as well. So, yeah, no, she's a great person to be around.
Given your lack of amateur background and the fact that you've fought at a high level, kind of chucked in at the deep end to an extent, albeit willingly, do you feel you've overachieved so far?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, I didn't come into the sport with any sort of high expectations for myself, to be honest. I came from a white collar background, and I got most of my experience prior to getting my license of sparring with other great fighters. So I was sparring with Kelly Morgan, and I did a lot of rounds with Michaela Lauren, former world champion, you know, so I got my experience that way, and I think that's how I've progressed so quickly, is to always work with high-level fighters and train with them and be part of important sparring camps like Cecilia Brackhouse's sparring camp as well. You know, it's been great, but it's also down to the fact that I'm completely obsessed with pushing myself to the best that I can possibly be, and me and myself and my coach Noel Callan, we work incredibly hard to get to where we are now. So it's a lot of hard work, dedication and determination to be here. But when I started, I had no expectations of achieving a world title even. So, you know, it's amazing.
And is this a full-time occupation for you now, or do you have to work still at the same time?
No, I still have to work. I think most female fighters, you know, Claressa's finally getting to that point where she doesn't need to do work as well. But for the rest of us, you know, it's not like a ability to have like one job as a boxer. I still do a lot of my music. It's my first sort of love. I teach music to kids. I play with orchestras. My quintet plays in care homes, which is fantastic. So I really enjoy that. But that alongside teaching boxing classes is kind of what helps supplement my income.
And what's the kind of future roadmap for you now? As we said, you've already mixed in very, very good company. Are you going to stay at super welter and look to get another title shot there?
Absolutely. Like I'm gunning for that rematch with Patricia Bergolt. But as far as I'm concerned, anybody around the super welterweight limits where I would like to be fighting, I'm not adverse to stepping up to middleweight. I think, in the girls' game, we do tend to move around the weights a little bit more. I might even go down to welterweight. You never know. I think that all options are available in that respect. And I've got the experience to do it. And my main goal this year was to become world champion again. Hopefully we'll have a chance to get back to that position, but just depending on this coronavirus thing.
And you've challenged for WBC belts, of course, but you held the IBO title. Is there a case to be made that the kind of status of those belts are a bit closer in the female game than in the male, the IBO specifically?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, the IBO has been held by some absolutely great champions like Golovkin, Cecilia Brackhaus, Terry Harper, and also Anthony Joshua. So I think people are starting to accept it a little bit more as a world title. I don't think Anthony Joshua would say that he wasn't a world champion if he still held that belt, So I think, it's however you want to look at it. But I was very proud to be an IBO world champion. So I'd like to, achieve that again.
How important is it to you that you get a few more fights at home? I know the opportunities are limited in the UK for female boxers anyway, and you often have to go abroad for the big fights. But would you like to have a few more at home?
Well, I think, to be honest, when I fought for my world title in Scotland, it was probably the most stressful night of my life. Fighting at home in front of my family and my friends and everything. I'm not adverse to fighting away from home. I don't get as nervous about it. As a musician, I played all over the world. So for me, being on a stage in a different country, it's no different, And I'm signed in America with Salita Promotions, so I love actually fighting over there. The crowds are great, and the crowd really has great boxing knowledge. But there is something special about fighting at home, so I'm always open to it. And my manager, Sam Kinnock here, I have opportunities to fight on his shows. And if an opportunity came up to fight on a Matchroom or a Frank Warren show here, that would be amazing as well, So, yeah, it's great to fight at home. And home fans, you can't beat them in any sense of the word. But I'm not adverse to going abroad either.
Lou DiBella said recently one of his ambitions is to put on an all-female show. So that's something to think about as well.
Absolutely. I think that there's some great things in the pipeline for that, for sure.
And just before I let you go, in your view, and you might be a tad biased because of your close relationship with Claressa, but who do you feel is the female pound-for-pound number one at the moment?
So I think I would probably have to say Claressa because of what she's achieved between the different weight classes. She's made some fantastic history there, and she's jumped through all of them. However, I will say that Cecilia Brackhaus has held the crown at welterweight for such a long time and made some amazing, great defenses. And I really like her, and I think she's a fantastic boxer. So I think it's kind of a toss-up between those two for me, to be perfectly honest. We'll have to see what happens with the next few fights for both of them, to be fair. But yeah, no, I would definitely put them on par with each other, really.
And Brackhaus could, in the future, perhaps be a fight for you if you do move down to welter at some point.
Absolutely. I'm not adverse to fighting anybody, and I think she's a great fighter, someone that I've sparred with before, but I'm way ahead of where I was when I sparred her the first time. So, it'd be a great fight. But I think she's tied up as it is with Katie Taylor and Claressa. But if the opportunity came up, I'd definitely say yes, because why not? It'd be great.
Brilliant. And before I let you go, just tell people out there how they can find you on the different social media platforms.
Cool. So I made it really easy for everybody for social media and for myself. So everything is team_Rankin. Okay, so @team_Rankin, and it's that for Instagram, Twitter, professional Facebook page, everything. So nice and easy.
No more boxing and bassooning.
No.
Brilliant. Well, really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you back in action as soon as all this is over.
Thank you very much. Thanks for getting in touch. It's great to speak to you.
All right, no problem. Take care.